Today I am going to give you evidence that law of assumption absolutely works in changing your reality. I'm going to use the example of what happened to my income when I wrote I am money, and I'm going to show you the graph of what I am money did to my income. It's going to blow your mind. It blew my mind because this really does work, and today I'm going to give you the evidence. This channel is dedicated to simplifying the law of assumption teachings and making them as practical as possible so that you can apply them to your reality and get results fast. My name is Hedley and I am a qualified life coach. If you would like support rewriting, rescripting, reimagining, recreating any part of your reality, I am available for one-to-one law of assumption coaching. I also have a free 21-day set yourself up with the ultimate self-concept course, which is the ultimate story that you want to be telling. And I now have my brand new book available, I Am Money, Assume a New Story and Enjoy More Money, which is all about rewriting, reimagining your current assumptions about money so that you can start to experience a whole different relationship with money. And as I said in the intro of this video, I'm going to show you evidence that this absolutely works. So let's get into it. I did forget to mention there in my excitement with my new book that all of that information is available in the box below the video or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. So today, I wanted to give you evidence that law of assumption works. I know you know it works because you will be the evidence in your own life and you will be experiencing the evidence in your own life. But I wanted to give you evidence of how my new book, I Am Money, works in recreating your experience of money in reality. I'm going to give you some crazy evidence. So a couple of days ago, I was lying on my bed just daydreaming, which is where actually a lot of my ideas come from, where I'm just doing nothing and I'm just kind of staring off into space. And then I had this thought, I wonder if I can prove that I Am Money works. Suddenly I had this idea to go and look at my PayPal graph, the insights on my PayPal account, which is where all of my income for my business comes from. And I thought, I wonder if the writing of the book coincides with any movement or shift in my income, because I know that it did. The money that was coming into my reality during the writing of that book was a lot more than usual. And it wasn't just through my income. I had money coming in through refunds and dividends and book royalties. So it would just come into my bank accounts. A couple of things I want to mention here. Money is not everything. Money is not the be all and end all. The fact that I've written a book about money is because I want a love story in every area of my life. Money was an area that was causing me a lot of anxiety, causing me a lot of stress, and I continually had this story that it wasn't enough, that what I had wasn't enough, and I was bored with that story. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to write myself out of this story, and the way I'm going to do that is to write a book, because I know I'm not alone in this, and I know that others want to have a better love story or a better relationship with money as well. In the writing of that book, it completely reconditioned the way I saw money, the way I viewed money, the way I interacted with money, my relationship with money basically. It completely rewrote it. And I started to have a completely different experience of it. Money is not everything. Money is not the be all and end all, but it is an important part of this 3D reality. You want to have a good relationship with it. And if you find yourself feeling stressed or anxious in your dealings and interactions with money, then you may want to look at the relationship that you have with it, meaning the assumptions you're holding of it, because that is what's causing it to show up in your reality. So now I want to show you the graph of my PayPal account during the writing of I Am Money. It's going to blow your mind. So as you can see, this is my income for January to today. Now, just to give you a heads up, at the end of that graph there where it drops, it appears to drop, that's where I actually opened a Stripe account. So it looks like I've gone from, a lot of money to not a lot of money. But in fact, this graph will be diluted because my Stripe account got opened. So where that purple line and cross is actually where my income sort of came back to. This is the heartbeat of money in reality. As you can see, there's an incoming, outgoing, incoming, outgoing, incoming, outgoing. That is the natural heartbeat of money. Now, money in your reality can have a very weak heartbeat, or it can have a strong heartbeat. What you'll find is as you start to work on your assumptions about money, you strengthen the heartbeat. So don't be afraid by the incoming and outgoing of money. It's just like the inhale and exhale of breath. It is a natural part of this 3D existence. What comes in goes out. What goes out comes in. It's the cycle of life. But I want you to have a look at this graph and see if you can see where I may have started writing I am money. It's pretty obvious. Okay, this is the point at which I started writing I am money. I created the file. I had a look at it last night actually. It was just November 22nd. And as you can see, there's an instant uptick in my income. What happens when I write a book is I go pretty hard first up and then I leave it to breathe a little bit. So you can actually see here where I take my breaks from the writing of the book. I know that I'm about to go on holidays in late June. I really went hard on finishing this book and getting it finished before June because I knew I wanted it out in July. I've deleted all the numbers because they're not important, but I just want you to see this graph. That is the most I have ever made in 1 month, ever. Now, the other interesting thing about this graph is I am actually working less in my business. So I've gone down to 1 video a week now, whereas before I was doing 3 videos. So where you see my other income, I'm working hard for that income, which is a lot less. I'm doing 3 videos a week. I'm doing lots of coaching. Now, where you see that huge uptick, I am working the less on the business that I've ever worked because I'm putting all of my attention and energy into getting the book finished. There is no coincidence that during that period of time, I am focusing all of my attention and energy on rewriting my money story. Money was showing up in my reality and I was not doing anything more in reality. I was simply working on my book. If you are going out and trying to get money without changing the story first, you are going to be banging up against the dream, which is just a holographic reflection of the current stories you're already telling. It's not going to get you where you want to go. You've got to change the story first. And hey, I Am Money will help you do that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you in this graph is, because this is super interesting as well, I didn't realize this until I saw this graph. So this graph here shows you the band that I was on pretty much since I started the business in October 21. I was operating at a level of income that was pretty consistent from the beginning. And it didn't really do anything until I started working on recreating my home story. Where you see this band end here on May 1st, and there's another jump, that is actually where I moved into my new home. And I actually said on one of my videos where I was talking about my new home, I have up-leveled. I have shifted timelines, that I am now on a new timeline. As I up-leveled my home story, I up-leveled my wealth story, this feeling of wealth and abundance. I could feel that I was on a new timeline, and this graph reflects back the band where I'm now on. I've hit a new level of income and I maintain it. And the interesting thing about this is that once again, I was doing less on my business because I was moving house. Like, this was a big move and this was a much bigger house that I was moving into, and I had no furniture. So I had to do all of this like furniture shopping and interior designing and like getting the house kind of fixed up a little bit. So I was again doing less work on my business, and yet my income had shifted to a new level. This stuff does not make sense on a rational level, and yet this is what happens when you rewrite the stories within. When you do the work within, it gets reflected back. And I know that there's no coincidence that I had hit a new level in my wealth story that was being reflected back in my reality. And then of course you can see how it jumped again when I started working on I Am Money. So that is what I wanted to show you today. How awesome is that? This stuff does work. It absolutely works. When you go in and you work on the internal story, reality will take care of itself, and you don't have to do anything else in reality. You don't have to go out there and try and figure out how more money is going to find you. It just will. It doesn't mean you're going to sit here and do nothing. It was working very diligently and with a lot of discipline on those stories within myself. I was doing it daily. I was focused on this daily. I wasn't just going, oh, I'll do a bit of this now and then forget about it. No, I was committed to rewriting my money story. And of course, I was committed to getting my book out. And that's why I wanted to show you that, because that's the evidence that this does work. So if you haven't got your copy, make sure you do if this is a story that you want to rewrite within yourself. And just remember this. Remember, if this is in your reality, then it's evidence for you, but it has to be true for you to really know it. So you have to take this and make it your own. And that's why I wanted to share that with you. So I hope that helped, and I hope you enjoy. I know you'll enjoy I Am Money, and I know even more you'll enjoy the success that you get from it. And for more information on this, you can watch the video that I will link at the end of this one, Manifesting Money Using using the I am technique. This is the technique I talk about in the book. So thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe and like this video. I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.